I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Makakadath. Double honor to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to you, Arkham that's pushing its truth. This is the brother Yakalem from the GMS Boston camp. And out of Walmart desired through the Spirit. This lesson is edifying as well as a faith builder. Because in the whole, the wicked are not going to go unpunished. And right now is the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. And there was an article that I saw on RT News that said whether he's found guilty or innocent, somebody's going to be mad. Because when you look at the climate of this country, mind you, this happened, this is the results of an August 2020 police shooting of Jacob Blake. Mind you, this man was shot in his back. He was paralyzed. And the cop that did that, he wasn't found guilty. And there was protests, there was riots and civil unrest in Wisconsin, and the reason why was because you had so many other people. You had Eric Garner, you had George Floyd. Jake was getting enough of these, these cops, predominantly Edomites, killing us. But once again, we understand we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, and we know that it's gonna be to a boiling point to where it's enough, because Jake will protest and get rocked back to sleep. Protest, rocked back to sleep. Jake got a George Floyd monument, and they thought that was an accomplishment because that cop, he was found guilty. But look at the time, and that was just think about that. Think about that. He was found guilty to calm Jake down so he wouldn't get that much out of hand. But you also have that lady that went into that Jake's house and shot him. And who knows what, if there was a affair or anything going on, because a law enforcement agent just doesn't end up in someone's house and kills them and then turns around. What did she do? She got 10 years. She'll be out early on parole for good behavior, as they say. But going back to Kyle Rittenhouse, here you have this kid, I believe he was 17 at the time, or could have been younger. He's down there in Kenosha with an AR-15, and now they're saying a medical bag so he can look like he was going to make sure people was gonna be all right. But come on, man. When you look at the footage and they show the dude's arm that was blasted and those that was shot, you can easily see, like, why would you even want to go down there in the first place, especially at your age? Like, what do you accomplish by doing that? And then there's footage of him after he shot them going by the police, and they giving him a award and stuff like that. But point being, this is what happens with E. The scripture tells you in Psalm 73:5 that they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So here you have this dude who was at the riots and shot somebody, and he's pleading self-defense. Mind you, he was bailed out. I believe his bill was two million, and his lawyer bailed him out. You also got he also got the rally of E, because that's their blessing, that gun. The Second Amendment, so they're backing him. The police are backing him. And it goes to show you also the officers, that the reason why the riot started in the first place, the officer that shot Jacob Blake, he didn't get charged. You know what? And this is the other thing too, that this is why the scripture on Save 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because if you look at Jake, they don't have any type of knowledge. They don't know that yet this day they are still in the land of their captivity. They don't understand that I'm going to bring it out, Matthew 5:25, it says, agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the advisory deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast in prison. Because this system is against us. If you look at the documentary, I believe it's 13th, or the 13th Amendment, it shows you that once you're locked up, you're considered a slave. And this is one of the biggest prison complex countries in the world. It has over 2 million Jake, that's you so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans in prison. And some of it is for petty crimes, but the Lord, that's sound advice. If the police are against you and their system is against you, agree with them. But no, listen, that was that dude's law. He thought he was going to reach into a whip. Officer didn't know if he was reaching for a gun or not, and blasted. But there is cases to where you had a man running and he was shot in his back. You had the case with George Floyd, the knee was pressed, and that could have been a psyop. When you look at everything, it all plays a part of that civil unrest agenda. because ultimately it's going to come down to martial law. And now since they got people, their whole focus is to push people to get that jump shot, you rarely or not even see it all on the news. Jake that's being killed by police officers, especially at the hands of E, like that just went away. Like 2021, that's just all done with. Now, going back into the thing, once again, whether this dude gets off, whether he's found guilty, he isn't going to get time like Jake. He's not going to get time like Jake. Or whether he gets off, he's going to get off. Why? Because the system was made for him. Self-defense. How many people said self-defense? George Floyd. Not George Floyd. George Zimmerman claimed self-defense. And what did he do? He pulled up on Trayvon Martin. And, you got his father wearing the Masonic stuff. That being a sacrifice as well. But, that's a different subject for a different time. Because, once again, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. The Lord, and it's not even Eve, because the Lord is in control of everything. The Lord puts the spirit on these devils to do these things, to rouse up Jake. This is why the book of Isaiah 1 and 5, and matter of fact, I wasn't going to get that. Isaiah 1 and 5, and with that being said, to think about Mike Brown, how they killed him and they left him in the streets. They didn't even cover him. It's a reminder. And this is the state of our people. This is the book of Isaiah 1 and 5. It says, why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot even into the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purifying sores. They have not been closed up, neither bound up, neither molded with ointment. And look at our people. We've been beat down for years since we've been brought over here on cargo slave ships. Our people have been beat down. Matter of fact, a brother just sent in the group chat how the UN found the U.S. guilty of humanitarian crimes against black and brown people, putting them in prison, systematic racism, like all of that. But going into what the precept of this lesson was, these devils aren't in trouble like most men. And, when you look at their unrighteous court systems, when you look at Lady Liberty, she has her eyes blinded and the scales are unjust. There's no justice in that. That's an unjust system. How can someone give justice if they can't see? And the reason why it's the scales is because whoever got the more money, they get off. And that's the case. Once again, you got this dude, he got his lawyer bailed him out for $2 million. But you got Jake sitting in prison to this day because they can't make $100 bail or $50 bail. Or they got court-appointed lawyers, and it's all part of the prison complex system. But once again, this is the book of Psalms 28. And matter of fact, before I get Psalms, let me bring out the book of Zechariah 11 and 5, because I was speaking on, the cases of the cops that were shooting. I had mentioned that this dude reached in his car and was shot. He didn't know if he had a gun, but what about the dude that had the gun on him and said, listen, man, I got my gun, I'm gonna reach, and they shot, and there was a child in the car. He didn't get charged for firing his arm recklessly, endangering the life of a child, and he killed that dude. I mentioned Mike Brown, George Floyd, Eric Garner for selling cigarettes. They choked them out. There's so many other cases. Or the lady, they all lined up, and she claimed the dude was reaching for a gun, but his navigator window was up, and they shot him. You had the helicopter there. It was a sacrifice, because these devils know that they can get off. And I'm going to get into those precepts. Let me just bring out Zechariah 11 and 5, whose possessors slayed them, because what? Yet this day we are still in the land of our captivity. And who was our possessor? Esau, Edom. And hold themselves not guilty. Look at their court systems. This is why, they didn't change and say, listen, man, we labeled you all 3/5 of a man. Let us change that. Or Creepy Joe, who's in office, when they asked him, does he regret the 1993 or 1992 for with basically the crime bill? He said, no, he doesn't regret it. He's profited off of that. It says, not guilty, and they that seldom say, bless the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And the reason why is because judgment is an expediently exercised. If I'm saying that correctly, this is Proverbs 28 and 5, because the scripture says evil men understand not judgment. And this is why these devils think, yo, let me go take this person's life. And once again, on a bigger scale, this is all everyone. There's no one free willing in it on this earth. Every spirit is controlled by the Lord. And this is just how that person being put to death, listen, man, that was their lot. That cop doing it, that was that spirit created for that. And it says, Proverbs 28:5, evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. And these devils, they don't understand judgment because they feel like they're getting away with everything that they're doing. They feel like that because they're in power, because the laws benefit them, and because of the lies, the lies they inherited of them being, you know, so-called God, who the world ignorantly calls God, but his name is Yahweh, and his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which is Yahweh Shai, and the Lashawan Kodash. Those lies that they inherited, thinking that they're the creator of all things, the originator of all things, the divine power, that they can get away with these things. But what it says, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that perverse his ways, though he be rich. And we're poor on this side. But the Lord is letting you know there's going to be consequences. Once again, Proverbs 11:21, though hand join in hand. Salaki for saying once again, I'm bringing this out. First time, Proverbs 11:21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteousness, the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. And not around the Zell, we're a part of that number because this is a promise. If the Lord say it, it will happen. He said, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. The wicked 2/3 of our people that join with these devils, a lot of them being those are prosecutors. Some of them could be chocolate covered Edomites, but other than them, they've been so warped. Esau, they done drunk that they done drunk that juice to where they hate their own people. It says that though hand join in hand, the wicked is not going to go unpunished. They are going to be judged, not by their judges, because they judge unrighteously. They don't judge according to the scriptures. Yet when you go to court, they want you to swear on the Bible, and it's nothing but lies and who has the bigger bank. And this is Ecclesiastes 8:11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, this devil has a tab that's been built up. Matter of fact, it goes back to Cain and Abel. This devil has a tab. Think about all those during the civil rights movement. Think about Emmett Till. We're living in the era of things being recorded. Imagine when they weren't. Imagine when things hit the fan with Rodney King. I believe that was one of my first time seeing a cop. That was in the early '90s, and I was a kid, but that was unheard of. Somebody recording a multiple cops beat a so-called black man due to a traffic stop, and then they all got off, and then what happened? Riots in the city. There wouldn't be riots in the city if people know that they were given righteous judgment, if they were given a fair trial, if things were done fairly. But once again, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, our people rejoice, because when it comes to our kingdom, it ain't gonna be no you sitting in jail. If you kill somebody, you're gonna be put to death. If you steal from somebody, you're gonna be given back and more. As the scripture says, but it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. This is why a cop takes a chance with killing a nigga. That's why they take a chance of putting drugs on young Jake, ruining their lives. It says that though a sinner do evil 100, do evil 100 times. And think about all the evil that Esau, Edom as a nation has done through all the generations, and his days be prolonged. Yes, surely, because how do these devils die? They die old in their bed. This is why the scripture says all the sins, Salakia, because these devils die in their bed. They ain't out here getting killed by the police. They ain't out here dying of stroke, because why? It's what I started out with. They aren't in trouble like most men. They don't got to worry about if they're getting pulled over, if that may be their last, if that may be their last breath. They don't have to worry about any of that, or them going to court and they might not get a fair trial. But the precept I was looking for was basically like, when you look upon an old, especially an Edomite man, the bones are still his bones are still filled with the sins of his youth. Matter of fact, I didn't even paraphrase that. Okay, edification purposes. This is the book of Job 11, 20 and 11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. So the Lord ain't forgetting that. So when the scripture says, even though his days be prolonged, you know, these wicked men live a long life and then they die, the Lord ain't forgetting that. The minute that spirit is taken from them, they're standing before the throne of the Lord and they're being judged. And if they ain't coming through back on this side, they're getting ready to come through for slavery. And as well as the nation as a whole. This is why. Why do you think they're doing this critical race theory? Why do you think they're taking down these statues and they try to hide from things? Yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Lord, which fear before him. I mean, these devils, they don't fear the Lord. And look how they treat his people. They feed us all type of abominable things. They promote our sons to be sodomites, our women to be whores. They break up our households, experiment on our children for big pharma. Neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Lord. And the shadow's only around certain times of the day. At night, that shadow's not around. It says, neither shall he prolong his days. So this devil's kingdom is coming to an end. This is why not just his kingdom, but his rulership. And after he builds up our kingdom, after those 1,000 years, they're going to be totally wiped. So that's going to show you that, like the scripture says, the wicked shall not be unpunished in the book of Proverbs 11 and 21. And I'm going to end this lesson with Job 20 and 4. I said it was going to be quick, not to put a time on it, so I'll do the spirit. Job 20 and 4, it says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So they high-five each other, like with George Zimmerman, when they beat that case. 17-year-old so-called black man lost his life. And what they do, they high-fived it. It's going to be the same thing with this dude. Whether he's guilty or not, we don't care. As long as civil unrest comes and this place is tore down, we just want to see prophecy be fulfilled. Jake, something got to rouse up Jake at some point. And it says that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach into the clouds. And that's talking about their space stations. That's also talking about their how do I use the word? Their not their image. Salakia, be with me, Akim. Trying to get my words together. Basically, though they mount their excellency, almost like our reputation, their reach. The book of Job told us that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And these devils, they really think that they're going to go, that vain thought of them traveling into space, going to explore this, going to explore the next planet, when really, man, look what they did to the earth. The earth is defiled under the habitants. So it's all for naught. But it goes to show you, when they put them space stations up and when they chip people, and how the scripture says that he shall sit in the mount of the heavens, he shall put his throne above the Lord's. He shall be like the Most High. The scripture says, yet he shall perish forever. And I was quoting that from the book of Obadiah. It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And, it's the elder of London, his name skipped my mind, but he was just saying he was going into a lesson on two alphabet women suing this place that helps you, basically helps you with childbirth, and two women, they can't give birth. But he was just saying how when 1,000 years pass in our kingdom, 5,000 years, if it wasn't for the records, people are going to look back and be like, yo, this was madness. This was utter darkness, what was going on. In the same way with this. All this stuff that's being recorded, this is why the scripture says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. This is one of the many reasons why this devil is going to be destroyed, and it's going to be a reminder why he got destroyed. It says he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. But before I read that, it says, have seen him shall say, where is he? Like, where's that dude that was doing all this wicked shit? When we tell our children out around with those men, and we tell our children and our children's children, and they're going to see why this devil got destroyed. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. So this devil is going to pay. We don't look for justice. You know, we ain't in that gross darkness. The water Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We don't go to this devil's court, you know, and that's the deception. That's the wickedness. You go to this man's courthouse thinking you seeking justice and you're not. You go to his hospitals thinking you're seeking to be healed, but you're actually being poisoned. You know, and you go to this dude's churches and his religious establishments thinking you're gonna find a connection with the Lord when really he's separating that connection. You know, so the wicked is not gonna drag it on. The wicked is not gonna go unpunished, and they're gonna face a righteous judge when Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai comes back. So I hope this lesson was edifying as well as a faith builder. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakal Kadash. Double honor to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to your Archimedes pushing his truth. Till next time, Yahshua. Shalom.